Hey guys, I have a deck profile video for you all today. It is Shark Drake OTK, the deck that I use in duels 71 and 73. Stardust1112 requests me to make this deck profile, so let's go straight into it. I did make some minor changes since the video, and I will go over them when I do. Alright, starting off, 3 copies of Field Commander Raz. It is a card you do not see very often. But Field Commander Raz, when it is normal or special summoned, but normally you'd normal summon it, you can select the level 4 lower warrior type monster and place it on top of your deck. Heroic Challenger Exosword is very important in this deck, but would you already have it in your hand and you want something that can special summon it, you can also place Marauding Captain on top of your deck to make sure you draw it next turn. Heroic Challenger Exosword, the important main deck card. If it is used for an Xyz as an Xyz material, the Xyz monster gains 1000 attack. And that is 1000 attack per extra sword. So if you use 2, it gains 2000. If you use 3, it gains 3000 attack. And that is very important for this OTK. Marauding Captain is here as one of the 2 monsters alongside Tin Plate Goldfish. Well, technically Summoner Monk could do it too. But usually it's either Tin Goldfish or Marauding Captain that is normal summoned to then special summon Heroic Challenger Exosword, because it needs to be special summoned for a spell that I'll go to in a second. I have Morphing Jar just in case I do not have any of the monsters that I want. I can then just make both players discard all cards in their hands and then draw 5 cards. Now I have 1 copy of Summoner Monk. I've been thinking about using a second, but I feel 1 is okay because Tin Goldfish and Marauding Captain can do the same thing that Summoner Monk is supposed to do in this deck, but then without discarding a spell. You would say I could use Goblinberg as well for this, but I'll get to it in a second when I discuss the side deck why I don't have Goblinberg. Now, Tin Goldfish, same thing as Marauding Captain, to normal summon and then special summon Exosword. Guard Destruction, same thing for Morphing Jar, discard your hand, draw new stuff. Hand Destruction, well, once again the same thing, because you really just want Extra Sword, Inferno Reckless Summon, and 1 of Marauding Captain, Summoner Monk, or Tin Goldfish in your hand, so you can get that OTK going. Heavy Storm to destroy the opponent's spells and traps, because you can be stopped by quite a few different traps, and you don't want them to be in your way. An Inferno Reckless Summon next to Heroic Challenger Exosword, the important card of the main deck. You can only activate the card when a monster of 1500 or less attack is special summoned to your side of the field. That's why I need to special summon Exosword and not normal summon it. And the opponent needs a face-up monster on their side of the field. Whether it's face-up attack position, face-up defense position, or even if it's a trap monster, as long as they have a monster. Tokens work as well, by the way. You special summon as many monsters as possible from your hand, deck, and graveyard. So even if you discarded an Exosword with hand destruction, you can still summon it. As many cards as you can with the same name as the monster you just summoned. So I summon 1 Exosword via Marauding Captain, use this, summon the other 2. The opponent does also get to summon as many monsters as possible with the same name of a monster that they have on the field. Let's say they have Mystic Tomato, then they can summon 2 more. If they have Blue Eyes White Dragon, they can special summon 2 more Blue Eyes White Dragons. So, I suppose you could be a bit careful with that, but once you get this off, you'll usually be able to OTK. And since trap monsters and token monsters are not monsters in the deck, or in the graveyard, or in the hand, token monsters can't be there anyway. Trap monsters aren't considered to be monsters while there. If the opponent just has 1 trap monster, like I believe it happened in Duel 71, they cannot actually summon anything, but you can still play Inferno Reckless Summon, since the opponent does control a face-up monster. I have 3 copies of Magical Mullet to keep consistency going, to hopefully actually draw into Exosword, Inferno Reckless Summon, and 1 of the summoners. 1 copy of 1 Day of Peace to stall for some time and draw an extra card. Bond of Duality to search for a good card that I need. Reinforcements of the Army to add Marauding Captain usually. And otherwise Field Commander Raz if I want to place Exosword on top of the deck. Or technically I also add Exosword to my hand if I already have Marauding Captain and Reckless Summon. 2 copies of Legacy of Yata to draw some extra cards, 3 copies of Reckless Greed. I have the Solemn Duo to, well, stop stuff, and 2 copies of Royal Decree and 2 copies of Trap Stun, which are here for the same reason as Heavy Storm, to make sure that they cannot use traps. Royal Decree would be used probably the turn before or at the start of the turn. The reason I run 2 Trap Stun and at like 3 Royal Decree and 1 Trap Stun is because Royal Decree, I can't come up with the right word. But anyway, Trap Stun, you can act. I can't remember the reason why I'm running these. It does have an advantage. I'll put it either in an annotation or in the description, and then I'll tell you that way. There's a reason why I put in Trap Stun over Royal Decree. Sorry, I just can't remember. In the extra deck, we have Gagaga Cowboy, Daigusto Emerald, Lavalval Chain. Lavalval Chain is, like, most of these cards I don't even use, but Lavalval Chain is important in a way because it can take a monster from your deck and place it on top of the deck, which is, in a way, what Roz does. It can place Extra Sword or Marauding Captain or whatever on top of your deck. Excalibur can be used as a summon by Extra Sword, although it doesn't really matter, because even if you summon it with 2 Extra Swords and make its attack 4,000, if you use its effect, it doubles its the attack becomes double original attack, so it'll become 4,000, which it already was, so that's kind of useless. So you usually use this with, like, if you only have like Raws and, yeah, like 2 Raws or something. Black Ship Acorn to get rid of Gotchi or Zenmain's, Pappy Operative to do some stuff. Blade Armor Ninja is like the plan B in this deck, because I should probably get a Shark Drake first, because the whole idea is Extra Sword, Inferno Reckless Summon, get all 3 Extra Swords out, Exceeds all 3 of them into number 32 Shark Drake, 5,800 attack. You attack into your opponent with 5,800 attack points, deal a lot of damage, so you kind of want the opponent to be in face-up attack position. Then, once it's in the graveyard, you activate Shark Drake's effect, detach 1 material to summon that monster back to the field in attack position, but then it loses 1,000 attack, and you can attack the same monster again. This can definitely be an OTK because you have well over 4,000 life points. So, as you can see, well, you can't actually see it because I never really was able to pull up the Shark Drake OTK. I did make it a Bladeheart OTK, because if the opponent doesn't have a monster in attack position, or doesn't have a monster at all, but you somehow are able to get 2 Extra Swords on the field, you probably want to go for Blade Armor Ninja, because if you summon it via 2 Heroic Challenger Extra Swords, it does gain 2,000 attack, making it have 4,200 attack points, and with its effect it can attack twice, and 2 direct attacks of over 4,000 damage, OTK, unless the opponent gained life points somehow. 1 copy of Utopia if you want to negate some stuff. Shockmaster, if you can make rank 4s, use Shockmaster. It's just a really good card. Gemnite Pearl as to get a little more attacking, I guess, and now that Evil Swarms are sort of a thing in the TCG, I guess you can use it to go over Ophion. Violent Desigma, I put this card in because I quite liked it. Didn't make it all too often, but it can steal the opponent's BLS, which I also always really liked. You can't really use it for yourself, but it does make sure the opponent can't use it, which I really like. I have Heroic Champion Kusanagi, a card that I haven't actually used in this deck yet, but you can use it with 3 level 4 warriors. Like, if the opponent already has very low life points, and you don't need Blade Armor Ninja or Shark Drake, you could probably use Heroic Champion Kusanagi, because during either player's turn when someone activates a trap card, you can detach an Exceeds material from Kusanagi and negate and destroy it, and you can continue attacking, so that gives a little safety for cards like Dimensional Prison, Magic Cylinder, Mirror Force. Now, in the side deck, I don't have a proper side deck because this deck is really meant for matches, so like with some other decks, the side deck is just full of cards that I have thought of using. A second Summoner Monk, as I explained earlier, a third Trap Stun. Someone suggested Monster Slots, which can definitely be useful if you're using Lavalval Chain. That way you can banish, let's say, your Raws in your graveyard, and if you have another level 4 on the field, and you've already put extra sword on top of your deck thanks to the Volatile Chains effect, then monster slots will see that as the same level, you special summon it, it's the last thing that happens, and you can use Infernal Reckless Summon. Now, Goblinberg, you can use it to XC summon and get into the Volatile Chain. You can use it to make Blade Armor Ninja, but it doesn't work with Infernal Reckless Summon because it will miss the timing. Not a lot of people realize this, but Goblinberg's effect special summons the monster, and then it changes Goblinberg to defense position. It does not count as happening simultaneously, and the defense position changing does not happen first, it happens second, after the summoning. And to be able to activate Infernal Reckless Summon, you need to make sure that the summon is the last thing that happens. In Goblinberg's case, that does not happen. So you can still use Goblinberg if you want with Raws, Goldfish, and if you want Extra Sword to make an Xyz monster, Blade Armor Ninja if you want, Volatile Chain, whatever. Just know that you can't use Infernal Reckless Summon at that point. I just put the WOD cancels there to make sure that it shows that you can't use this for the main combo. Now, I did also think to use Evil Swarm Ouroboros instead of the Sigma. Usually I only used its first effect. Doesn't, like, I decided to keep the Sigma because I originally put it down. I was like, meh, not going to use this deck too much more. I've already used it in a duel twice. And also Maestroke can be useful as a wall. Can place a monster in defense position, but once again, I'm not going to be using this deck too often, so I'm probably not going to change too much about it. stardust1112, I hope you enjoyed seeing this deck profile. If you have a request for another deck profile that you'd like to see me do, just tell me in the comments and I'll get to it when I get to it. Shouldn't take too long, unlike the deck requests, which I have like a really huge list of. But Monday is my last exam. I'll be done. After that, I'll have summer vacation, so I'll have a lot of time. I'll definitely be working on Yu-Gi-Oh! Burst Chapter 6, get some more regularity back into that, so I'll have a chapter every 2-3 weeks, and a lot of duel videos, but mostly deck requests, because I have a lot of decks ready already. I just haven't really had the time to, well, make a video for most of them. So that's going to happen after Monday when I have summer vacation. Haha, you don't. And I'm going to see you guys later. Bye-bye.